Well, hey YouTube, it's Elvis Ammo here. Hey, today we're going to do something kind of cool. Something I've been wanting to do for quite a while. Something I get a lot of questions about. In the past, mainly I've gotten more questions about, loading for a carbine length 9mm. And not only loading for the carbine length 9mm to see what kind of power we can get with a carbine rifle or a carbine 9mm, but also can we make subsonic loads, and can we make subsonic loads for our handguns? So what I've done is I've developed some loads, quite a few loads, and kind of picked from some that I'd made up. And we're going to be shooting. From a Palmetto State Armory. That's a AR9 is what they call it, the PSA AR9, and it's a 16-inch. Barrel, and as a matter of fact, I'll probably do a full review on this carbine when I get done doing this video. Some things that kind of impressed me about it, and I'd like to share the ins and the outs of it. But for now, what we're going to do is I developed a couple of loads that I deem kind of high speed and high power for our carbines. And what I've done is I'd loaded up some 115 grain plated ammo, and I also loaded up some 125 grain cast powder coated bullets from our Lee mold, and I also loaded up some 162 grain bullets from a Lee mold, and this is typically shot out of our 38 specials and 357 magnums, and I developed a load with it for the 9mm for our subsonic load in the carbine and in our pistol. And then we're going to shoot some factory run-of-the-mill MagTech and some hollow points, just to kind of see what the difference is, how they land on the target, and the speed of it from the handgun to the carbine. And now on our high speed round, it's going to be I used power pistol, Alliant powder power pistol, and I used that with our 115 grain plated, copper plated ammo. That's just generic, plated 115 grain ammo. I think I'd ended up getting those from I'll think of it in a minute. Everglades is where I got that from. Everglades, the plated. And then for now in this one I'd loaded up the data that I got for this load was from Alliant website, and I'm using 7 grains with an overall length of 1.135 on that one. Now some of these loads, all of these loads, you're going to have to develop yourself to make sure it's feeding and to make sure that it's safe in your gun and how you load it. Because these, in my opinion, are maximum charges. So I'm just wanting to give you that warning that it's up to you to develop safe loads. And then on the 124 grain cast powder coated bullet, I'm using the power pistol as well, and I'm using 6.6 grains. Okay, and as you know, there's no load data really for a powder coated 125 grain cast bullet with this powder. So warning you again, that I pulled it, I used some experience and kind of a conglomeration of information to come up with this load. So just warning you on that. This is the top of the chain in my opinion. I'm just telling you that. And for our subsonic loads, I loaded up 162 grain. Look at this beast of a bullet, and I fit it all into this case right here. Alright, so there's not a lot of room for powder. So I chose a a powder that would be a little bit faster, but not too fast, and that's the Hodgdon's 700X, and I'm loading that with 2.8 grains of powder. 2.8 grains. So it's a great way if you have plenty of lead and you want to save on powder. You can shoot 2.8 grains of powder, and these loads are ridiculously quiet whether you have a suppressor or not. And you'll see that, I don't know how well it'll translate, the sound, but I'm pretty stoked about, I kind of, did the whole mind twist trying to come up with, something exciting, somewhat different, to come up with these loads, and real excited about them. So I'm real excited to see what they're going to do. And these are going to be pretty quick, out of a carbine. Obviously it's going to be quick, but we'll see the difference of we'll put it up against some factory ammo, and then these these subsonic loads, man. These are going to be pretty cool. I know a lot of you guys are looking for subsonic loads, and this is kind of unconventional way of doing it. But again, I will warn you, there is no such thing as 162 grain data, 162 grain bullet data. And you got to make sure they chamber. And you got to make sure, you don't have too much powder in there. You got to have a powder that you can fit the bullet in with. So just throwing that out there. Anyway, let's shoot these. We're going to shoot them over the chronograph. See what kind of speed we can get out of these, and see how slow we can get these subsonics, and still function in our rifle and in our handgun. Now these two loads that I developed with the power pistol, I'm going to deem those carbine only. So I'm not going to shoot them out of my Glock. I would. I'm not scared to, but I think it's, to me, this is a carbine load that's developed for a carbine, in my opinion. But there is data for it. Just throwing that out there, from the Alliant power pistol, from the website. On the 125 grain, obviously cast lead bullet, when I say there's data for it, it's we do a lot of creating, when we're shooting powder coated bullets and cast lead bullets. So let's shoot these over the chronograph, and then we'll shoot it into some paper and see how well they do. Because there's no sense in having and a screaming bullet that don't hit your target. So we'll just see what that looks like as well. So let's go do that. Alright, so the first one that we're going to shoot is the fastest stuff that I made, 7.0 grains of power pistol. I don't know how this weather is going to cooperate for me today, but we'll make it through. We'll just see if this works out with the sun the way it is. $16.13. Alright, now we'll go with the 124 grain cast bullet with 6.6 grains of power pistol. $14.40. Alright. Now we'll see what one of my subsonic rounds shoot at. 162 grain bullet, 2.8 grains of 700X, Hodgson 700X. Listen how quiet it is. $9.29. Boy, that was weird. That was weird shooting that one. Alright, now we're going to shoot that same bullet out of the Glock. We'll shoot that one out of the Glock. Listen for the sound. $7.80. Alright. A couple more to go. We'll go ahead and shoot a MagTech. That's just factory MagTech ammo. We're going to shoot it from the Glock, or we'll shoot it through the rifle first. MagTech factory. $13.33. And now from the Glock. MagTech factory, Glock 19. $11.09. Alright, we got one more to go. We're going to shoot the SIG. I like this hollow point ammo. 115 grains. And we're going to shoot that from the carbine first. 115 grain SIG hollow point. $14.98. All right, same SIG hollow point out of the Glock 19. $11.64. All right, so now let's put some of these on paper and see what they look like. First of all, yeah, we'll go ahead and put them on paper right now. Alright, here's the last few rounds of the Subsonic in the Glock 19. Just see what they look like. See if we can get this on. Like that. So it cycles good. Alright, so it didn't go, you know, excitingly well. I'm still trying to figure out, you know, what just happened. But I figure there's no sense in racking my brain. I'm going to be talking to you guys about it. And it'll make better sense as I do that. Not a whole lot to go over except for to look at the evidence, right? So, there was some good things, some bad things, some disappointing things, and just as I always do, I show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't do a bunch of editing and come up with the perfect thing and then bring it to you guys. Sometimes things don't go exactly so well, but that's the only way that we can make things better, is to know what went wrong to start with. So let's go over what happened. Alright. We'll just start with the chronograph. The chronograph, you know, with our 7 grains of power pistol and the plated bullet, 115 grain plated bullet, that thing was a nice screamer, like we thought it would be. According to the load data from the website, it was 1/10 grain under what the maximum load they showed. I didn't shoot that through the Glock, of course. 16-13, and the next one that I shot, the 125 grain, was with 6.6 grains of power pistol, was 1440. Pretty darn good in my opinion. And then we went down to the 700X, the subsonic round at 2.8 grains, 929 in the rifle, 780 in the Glock. That's pretty slow, you know, for a 9mm round. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then the MagTech, we hit 1333 and 1109 in the Glock. And then the SIG hollow point, we hit 1498. So, you know, those things are cruising pretty good. You know, now that's a 115 grain bullet. And then in the Glock it was, in the Glock 19 it was 1164. So, you know, that's the mess right there, you know, that I've got wrote down. And now let's go to the target. You've seen the paper, you know, so let's talk about what happened with that. So, you know, in the first one, you know, this was the plated bullets. Now this was from 40 yards. All right, this was from 40 yards away, and you know, just trying to hold it in one position, really, as best I could at 40 yards with iron sights. Right there, That was the 7 grains of power pistol, and then the 6.6 grains of power pistol. That was the plated bullet. This was the 124 grain cast, and you can see. I mean, I'll just go ahead and so 1 3/4, about 1 3/4. From that's 40 yards away. So it was I kind of felt bad about that, but now I don't feel too bad, about that. So 6.6 grains, 124 grain powder coated cast bullet right there. But there's some load development to do. I mean, I really, I just put this together. I didn't have time to adjust a whole lot, just enough. And then this is what happened when we got to the subsonic ammo. And it kind of made me a little bit sick, to be honest with you. This right here. So, I mean, you can see, 3 3/4 inch group. But that is from 40 yards away, and I'll be honest with you, that rifle boy, you could hear the spring against your face. It did not sling that thing at all, and I knew it needed a little bit more power. And here was the MagTech. I've always liked the MagTech. That's something I kind of collect. And look at that. That was a one hole. I don't know what the size of it is because it's just one hole. Now that was impressive from 40 yards. I mean, the size of the hole is 3/4 inch. That's pretty good. That surprised me. All right. Well, not real surprised, but it's just surprised that I could shoot that well. It's really what the. Okay. So now this kind of made me sick. This subsonic round. All right. So what I done when you seen me shoot the last group, I'd come back in here and I made another round up to 3 grains. 3 grains of 700X retry. Alright, and I think I improved the quality of the group, but that's 2 holes right there. So I mean, I don't even know how to measure this. It's still 3.5 inches no matter how you look at it. But 40 yards. This could use some improvement. And then this target right here was you didn't see that on camera, but that was when I told you I wanted you to see the Glock 19 function. This was the 2.8 grains with the 162 grain bullet, and I don't care. I was really just trying to get in the frame of the camera so you could see the Glock function. That's all. And honestly, I mean, and that was from 20 yards away. That was from maybe 19 yards away, 18 to 20 yards away, something like that. All right, right there. So, and I just threw it up there. I know I could have put them all in the circle right there, no problem. But I was really trying to get you guys get in the frame, really. So, and you can see the holes. You can make of it what you want. The holes look pretty decent to me. This one right here was a little bit wider than what I thought it should be. So but the subsonic round, man, wow, that thing is real quiet. I hope it. I know it don't translate well on camera, but trust me, it was quiet. And shooting it through the rifle, all I could hear is the spring. I don't have a suppressor, but if you did, wow, you wouldn't hear that one. It would just, the noise would go away. So I have some room for improvement. You've seen the targets. I'm just pouring it out there for you. That's what it looks like. Now, there were some other issues that I had that I was kind of shocking, that I have to tell you about. Now, as I said, I'm going to do a full review on this, and after today I know I'm going to do a full review on this because some things kind of happen out there, and that's the way it goes on YouTube. You know, you do stuff out here, and I mean, it's just the real world, right? I mean, I just shoot stuff, show you what I got. That's all I do. But I had some function issues with the hollow points. Now, I have fired, and I have seen fired. At this point, there's been probably 500, 600 rounds that went through this rifle right here. Maybe more, maybe 700 rounds. No issue whatsoever, right out of the box. Now, this is not mine, it belongs to a family member. Alright? So, I'm lucky enough to have a family member that owns this, which is nice. So, the issues. Now, I'm going to be doing a full review on this, so I'm not going to get into why I think or anything like that. The only thing I can say is, you'll have to watch the review to see the inners of this gun. I'm not going to get into that on this video. But I ran. You heard me fumbling around whenever I said I'm going to shoot the SIG hollow point. I didn't want to talk about it right there. I just wanted to get through what I was doing because I knew I was going to talk to you guys now. But the 115 grain SIG hollow point, it just jammed it. See how short that is? It just set the bullet back and didn't feed. And so then off camera, I went ahead and shot, because I didn't want to tell you that without telling you as much as I can. So off camera, I went ahead and shot another SIG, and it was 147 grain, because sometimes these guns like larger hollow points, especially if you're having a jam issue with smaller ones. So I shot the 147 grain. It crashed into the chamber and set back again. So I'm just telling you that much on this video. I have a family member that's probably going to watch this, and they're not going to like it at all. But I'm going to do a full review on this rifle, and I'm going to talk about some of these issues right here. But I have not experienced any of that until just now on camera, pretty much. So anyway, so what we have is we have potentially great subsonic round. But I will say, in the past, I have played with these in 9mm, and they are finicky. This 162 grain for our 38s. See if I can show you the mold. If I can find it. Where is it? Okay. Yep. This is the it's dropping at 162 grains, but this is the mold right here. I don't need to tell you what it is, you can see it. That's 158 grain, 0.358, and that's the 2R tumble lube. It's the 2R. That's important if you're going to use it in an auto pistol. 2R if you want to try to make that happen. I think you can get these in 2-hole molds too. You know, for something cheap, you can try it. Anyway, so the subsonic potential is pretty awesome, even for just shooting without a suppressor. It is quiet. Just no recoil at all, handgun, rifle. And as far as that screamer, you know, going, you know, over 1,600 feet per second, I mean, you can kill a deer with that 50 yards, no problem. So, anywho, I'm gonna get into. I'm gonna do a full review on this PSA. Let me tell you exactly what it's called. It's called the. They call it the AR9, is what they call it on as advertised. It's the AR9. And this is the one that they do the combination deals that you can buy these along with another pistol and get the AR-9 9mm carbine for a wonderful price. You know, like, I don't know, I mean, a Glock pistol and that you can get for $1,000 or less. Anywho, YouTube, I'll see you in the next video.